You know, the challenge with these events is normally when you're about to give a presentation, you're staying focused on what you're about to say, but I've been so caught up in everybody's presentations that I forgot almost that I was about to come up myself. Hopefully I come from a somewhat unique perspective for an event like this. I'm hoping it's all right. Just gonna close that out and play. Just right here? Mm-hmm. All right. Here we go. So look, just a quick little bit about my background. I'm a partner in a firm here in Columbus that specializes in brand strategy, but I'm also an MFA student here at the school. So in some ways, I guess I'm a post-demographic consumer of your product. But I'm also very interested in transitioning into education and have been for some years. So I guess I'm a novice in your field, and so I'm very humbled, and it's a bit surreal to be here. What I wanted to talk about was this idea of research and how it relates to design. In a way, this is maybe the start of a discussion about the role that research plays in design. If you're reading some of the literature that's out there, it's no secret that design is now being more and more informed by research. In fact, what the definition of design is has become synonymous with innovation and problem solving. And this is allowing people from our background to participate in broader roles or cross-collaborative teams in solving problems that are both business-related or social-related. So it's an exciting time. But a lot of this has been driven by research. And so that design research has become increasingly important. And I see this in my own practice in the professional world. Again, these two words become so synonymous because you're solving problems. So that design and research become almost indistinguishable. They're quite blended. This is a shift, I feel like, from my training when I was an undergraduate, where my training was in design theory, which was, we were learning in concepts like constructionism or post-constructionism or Bauhaus theory or the Swiss school, which are more, maybe more rational or conceptual. But today things are more driven more empirically. So instead of those ideas, we hear words like user experience being discussed or human-centered design. Of course, design thinking, with an emphasis, it's rooted in empathy. So here we have students here at the school, Josh and Emily, and they're practicing some ethnography. They're doing some observational research. They're trying to understand the retail experience in the garden or the horticulture industry. And they've been asked by a trade association, a national trade association, to basically save the independent garden retailers from becoming irrelevant. So they're operating both as designers, design thinkers, but also millennials. And so as they do their research, they realize that they need more perspectives. And had the association not funded travel, they would actually be quite limited in this type of research for just the Columbus market or the Central Ohio market. So that's where we came up with this idea of sharing, this idea of a collaborative network that's for research. So the idea would be if Josh or Emily was in Columbus, Ohio, and they wanted to open participation for this ethnography or this observational research, that they could reach out to partner schools in AICAD. In order to do that, we would have to have a couple shared environments. I've been delighted to see that conversation has been a consistent theme in the other presenters. A virtual environment, collaboration platform of some kind, a cloud server. Usually observational research has a lot of gigs and gigs of data. And a survey platform, something like Fuel Insight for conducting online questionnaire surveys and diary studies. We also would need a shared intellectual environment for sharing these models, such as research and request process. So just right away, the students will be learning how to write a research proposal, which is not just an of academic value, but also of commercial value. And as we are learning today, that writing is a really important skill for designers. You can run, but you can't hide, as it were, because more and more things are driven by concept. Co-design research tools, I think this would be actually a very exciting area for faculty to collaborate together on. Probably the one that would be most intriguing to faculty. So I took the liberty of just modeling something up like this to give an idea of a three-ring binder where we're all contributing ideas about how to do design research, or even on our own method cards. Even sharing transcription services or shared coding schemes so that we're building databases if people are familiar with grounded theory type research. And then some type of incentive plan. In terms of, there's probably a number of ways to incentivize students to want to participate in this. Speaking as a student, I really need no incentive. I want this bad because I see it in business how invaluable this is for business development and staying at the front of the innovation curve instead of being at the back. So for me, that's enough incentive. But if for younger or more inexperienced students, and we're trying to entice them in, one of the things that I've seen is that more and more corporations are wanting to access universities for their fresh thinking and their millennial thinking, and these corporations are probably the ones that would sponsor the biggest research or the most aggressive research projects. So in that case, it can be as simple as just having them make sure that these are available for the participants across the country in these programs. So once Josh and Emily have access to that network, then other people from around the country can be involved in these research projects. They're developing their skill sets. They're getting real-world practice in not only how to conduct research, both from a design standpoint, but also from an ethical standpoint. And but they're also getting, and I believe this would be a good thing, sharing the brand equity of the corporate partners that one school would have if I'm participating in that research, as far as my own CV or even the school's brand equity, that would be another incentive to participate in these projects. So basically, that's the proposition. There's my email address. I'm currently working on my own tools right now because in my practice, I believe it's an essential thing. And a lot of what I'm trying to do is templatize some of the most basic things, because you can sort of code the logic of what the deliverable is in the actual template. And it saves time, because a lot of what the burden of this is not the intelligence, it's just the time to build out these materials. And so that's the proposition.